Buen día. Gracias a todos por venir.
Good morning, and thanks for being here. I'm Fabian Bastian, and I'm the Business Development Manager in Wayra. In case you don't know, Wayra is Telefónica's venture capital. We invest in companies that can do business with Telefónica or through Telefónica. Today, we're going to share 3 examples of our partnerships, quite heterogeneous, so that you will understand how this partnership works. Wayra has celebrated its 10th anniversary this year. We have invested in more than 250 companies, and many of them have done business in Telefónica. I apologize for my voice. It's been already 4 days. With me, Lali from Bolava. Bolava is disrupting what we call the home segment. Lali, hello, I represent Bolava. I'm the Chief Financial Officer in Bolava. Bolava is a company that sells equipment so that customers can train at home, bikes, box, rings, etc. But this is not the only thing we offer to our customers. What differentiates us is that we offer content, live streaming classes. We have an amazing span of coaches that offer an amazing experience. We have an offer of around 60 lessons a week or classes a week with equipment, with no equipment. And what really makes a difference, I believe, is the user experience. When you train from home with us, you are not alone. You are training, you're giving your best, you have an objective, and you feel connected with others. You see your colleagues, there's a leaderboard, and the coach is there for you. The coach knows your name, he's with you, and supports you in your objective of having a healthy life. It's very interesting indeed. Hello, my name is Albert. I'm the CEO of Watchity. Watchity is the audiovisual IKEA. I always say it's a software platform that allows everyone without expert audiovisual expertise to develop high-quality audiovisual content and broadcast it through social networks, corporate sites, etc. We started our endeavors 6 years ago, and we have invested a great deal in research and development to develop such product so that we can enable our customers to develop high-quality clips. We work with BBVA, Volkswagen, the Catalan government, big brands, big companies that need to simplify the process of development of new content in webinars, press conferences, etc. Javi, same question to you. Hello, my name is Javier Polo. I'm the CEO of Councilbox. In Councilbox, we are a legal startup, legal technology startup. We have a blockchain platform where we enable tasks that need to fulfill with certain criteria, such as let me give you an example. In a company's board, you need to be first appointed, then there's an agenda, there are the minutes that need to be approved and voted upon. So there's a regulation behind. Let me give you another example. Endeavors between citizens and the public administration. Thanks to our technology, all this can be done through a video conference in what we call video presence. We also target big customers, large customers, the public administration. The Ministry of Justice is our main customer. Perfect. Now that we know a little bit more what is it that you do, I'm going to tell you why we brought them here. At the end of the day, you all offer different products, you target different customers, but what we wanted is to dig into the different collaborations you've had with Telefónica. Telefónica, in some cases, is the customer of startups, so we use your solution, so we are a sales channel in this case. Well, you represent different companies, different business cases. As Javi said, you have been working with the Ministry of Justice. Telefonica is a resale channel for Council Box, and I believe this is a very interesting business case. With Council Box, well, I hope you will agree with me, but since we met and you started working with us, it was very quick, right? I mean, it was, I don't know, a short period, a month perhaps, since we met until we started reselling your product. Perhaps you would like to tell us a little bit more about how you partnered with Telefonica. Well, the business case with the Ministry of Justice, as I said before, we enable remote actions that usually would require of you going to an office. Our platform traces processes in blockchain. As you know, blockchain has two main features. What you write in blockchain cannot be changed, and it has a time stamp. So I'm going to give you a specific example, but this is what provides legal validity before a judge. If someone says that an action is not legal, you can prove to the judge through the blockchain technology that it is legal. Procedures are quite repetitive. They are not all the same, but, well, first of all, oftentimes there is a call, right? Imagine you are a civil servant, you open your computer and you have an agenda. For example, when it comes to ratifying a divorce, you start the procedure, and from there on, a workflow is started with validations and signatures required. Our product allows you to make the announcement, to identify users, to change and exchange information regarding the announcement, or the procedure rather. The day of the procedure, the civil servant opens a safe video conference room where all the documents are shared and signed, and then a minute is produced. In the case of the Ministry of Justice, the procedure goes to what we call the citizens file. All this is of extreme added value to the public administration. In the framework of the 2030 agenda, public administrations need to get closer to citizens, reduce their CO2 footprint, and enhance transparency. This is a very large project with an investment of more than several million euros. We sell licenses of the product that are enabled by our partner Telefonica. Wayra is the investor, and we use Telefonica as a key partner because Telefonica has a very interesting penetration to the public administration. Even if our product is quite differential, it's not so easy to sell €1 million worth service to the Ministry of Justice without a sound partner like Telefonica. Albert, in your case, I believe we fell in love also in a few months only, after a few meetings, and we are also reselling Watchity to our customers in Telefonica. And we had a quite interesting experience, which is that we had a similar product to yours, but now Albert will tell us what the differential element is. And the interesting side is that even if we had a similar product, Telefonica could identify that Watchity was much better for some business cases. So tell us more about it. I believe that it took a while to reach this conclusion and to really spot the difference between your company and the similar product that we had already. And now we are working with you. And, well, of course, the startups can contribute with a differential element compared to products that are already existing in a company. Exactly. Yeah. We started working in Wayra. We had meetings with the commercial and product development teams, I believe our value proposition was clearly understood from the beginning. Let me open a parenthesis here. We are a platform that covers 3 pillars: content development, streaming, and event management, such as marketing, enrollment, etc. We offer a holistic solution, and I believe this captured the attention of the sales product and the product development team. I believe we have opened several opportunities in the verticals that we have, because we work with companies and brands of all sorts: automotive brands, financial, insurance, retail, and of course there are several opportunities in all these fields, and we also target public administrations. Oftentimes we target communication departments in companies and brands, and in these 2 verticals Telefónica is very well positioned. So I believe we are creating many opportunities. We have already closed a contract, and we bring this innovative product to Telefónica that's allowing you to open new doors. And for us, the positive side of things is that we have access to some customers that probably we could not have access to without you, because they require of ISO stamps, etc. Startups sometimes have difficulties when it comes to obtaining such ISO labels. And of course, you already have them all. So I believe this is a win-win partnership. We believe that the solution is, as I said before, a win-win scenario, because it opened doors for us and we enhance your portfolio. So I believe this is a win-win for the time being. Lali, in the case of Bolava, this is a very different business case, rather new for us all. As you know, Telefónica a couple of years ago launched new business verticals such as Movistar Health, Movistar Insurance, and in the case of Bolava, when we first met, we realized that what you do is very much related to our core business: connectivity, launching new products and services which are not necessarily related to the core of the business, but which are somehow related. We fell in love with Bolava right away, and when we presented it to the strategy team, we thought, or we believed, that it was absolutely possible to make sure that Bolava as a fitness solution with, well, it has nothing to do with our core business, right? But we thought, hey, why not launching a collaboration between Bolava and Telefónica? Within Telefónica's roadmap, we wanted to include the fitness vertical, and, well, Bolava has been prioritized. What we're interested in is that Telefónica should learn a lot from you, should learn from your market, from the fitness market, learn whether your customers are interested or not, how to sell the product, how to sell the service. If we are to develop a new fitness vertical, well, of course, Telefónica is aiming for the best, and we are doing exactly the same with other verticals that are going to be launched in a few months' time. At the end of the day, the main objective is not so much about selling, but rather about learning from what you are doing. Well, this year we have been selling quite a lot. We have launched an 8-month pilot project that has sold very well, and we've realized that it's possible to sell it, and it's very interesting. But please tell us, Lali, how have you experienced your collaboration with Telefónica, and how has been the iteration process with Telefónica? Telefónica started partnering with us in February last year through Wayra, and a while after we defined a pilot, which is a sales channel, but I believe it's also a partnership. We like calling our pilot a partnership because Telefónica customers have now access to several of our products, the Smart Bike and the Smart Pulse, to obtain your metrics, performances, etc. And we bundle both services to Telefónica customers. It's been a success story. The pilot was to end at the end of January, and we have enlarged its duration until the end of March. We've been selling quite a lot. For us, it was more about visibility than sales, but to be honest, it has worked smoothly. And that's why we have enlarged the pilot. And now Telefonica and Wayra is helping us with cash flow management, capital investment, etc. And as you said before, I believe we are learning how to understand a new vertical, provide you with knowledge on the health segment to explore new collaborations. I am sure that we'll find new ways of collaboration. That's for sure, Lali. Let me add that the pilot project, as you said, has been enlarged because we are obtaining incredible results or outcomes, even though there was no economic target attached. So this opened the door so that the strategy team is willing to try working with the startups. We are used to working with large corporations, and now, we have understood that it's easy to do collaborations with the startups also. We really like this example because it's the first one of a long list in which Telefonica has chosen a startup to develop a new business vertical. We have a few minutes ahead, so I have an extra question for you three. Where do you think your collaboration with Telefonica is headed to? In the case of Council Box, beyond the channel, Hubby, do you think this collaboration is going to attract more customers for you? It's going to allow you to attract more customers? Well, for us, it's a great opportunity. On the one hand, there's the capacity that Telefonica has to penetrate public administrations in Spain and also in other countries. And for us, this has an immense value, indeed. The same to us. We attract customers through different ways, oftentimes through the marketing and communication departments. But Telefonica is very good at penetrating or attracting new customers from the IT side. So when you're working in an operation with a corporate account, the account receives two inputs, ours, and Telefonica's. So this is a positive loop, and the possibility to close a business is much greater thanks to this partnership. At the long run, we believe that the strategy will work very well and can be replicated in Spain and in other countries where Telefonica operates. For us, this partnership entails an incredible growth potential and a product development scenario, because oftentimes your teams suggest the use of new tools that can be integrated to enhance the product, and this, of course, is good for our relationship with Telefonica and for our relationship with the market, with our customers. So innovation, internationalization, innovation, and all this is possible thanks to our partnership with Telefonica. Lali, in our case, having a strategic dialogue about the future, not only focused on Bolava, but also focused on Telefonica, having the possibility to better understand how can this partnership evolve on the basis of collaborations with smaller startups. For us, it's very important. How do we see the future? Well, the fact that Telefonica, or in this case, Wayra, supports our customer, our company. Sorry, we are a B2C company, and we have customers like you or me. But when it comes to banks, investors, we go like, okay, who are you operating with Telefonica? I believe this is a warranty that the company is sound. Our company is sound in this case, and I believe this is extremely positive. Indeed. So now, let's just stop. Now, what has been the tricky side of things? What I believe that sometimes times are difficult when it comes to partnering in Telefonica. Albert, you had a difficult experience at the beginning of the partnership, but we overcome difficulties. Well, we were very lucky. Everything is easier if you have a business opportunity for a large company like yours that can be marketed quickly. For us, the time to market was very, very short. Well, in our experience, at the end of the day, the commercial structure, Telefónica's commercial structure is very large. There's many of you working in Telefonica, and it evolves. In previous partnerships, every time I meet with Telefonica at the beginning of every meeting, you are told about what has changed. So for us, it has been difficult to find the right teams to interact with, the ones that really understand what we do and that have the capacity to convey the message to other departments. So it took 6 or 7 months. Besides the, Mediterranean team, David's and Gemma's team, the one, Gloria, they manage relationship and the transference of Wayra products to Telefonica, which is very well organized, and we've had many meetings with the sales task force, etc. But for us, it was difficult to find the right product department that gained ownership of the product and launched it to the market. But when you get there, things move smoothly. Now we have a first customer, and from Telefónica's perspective, I guess, we need to prove now that the partnership is going to work and the customer is going to be happy and you will be able to replicate the experience with other customers. So the main barrier for me is to find the right pathway and better understand the ones who need to lead our product. Well, in your case, it was a little bit different because the team was already there. The team was already willing to work with you, and perhaps in your case, the challenge was how to move forward. Yeah, we haven't had any difficulties in the partnership with you. The relationship with Wayra was amazing, with the financial team. Everything has been extremely easy since I started partnering with you. And now with the strategic team from Telefonica, or in Telefonica perhaps the relationship is more formal, but we have weekly meetings and we are developing a relationship. I believe you are experts in your core, in your market, whereas we are experts in another field. So what we're trying is to explore synergies to move forward. And this has been the tricky part, but of course it's understandable because we're in the process of developing a new product. It's not like we have to convince you. Of course, we'll have to convince the super boss in Telefonica, but it's not so much that it's becoming difficult, but rather the importance of believing what you do from your side, right? Hopefully you will be convinced about our product and service. Good. So let me ask you one last question. What advice would you give to other startups, other scale-ups that are thinking about partnering with Telefonica? Perhaps we could start with you, Lali, this time. Well, I believe it's all about professional values. I believe it's all about communication, working hard, believing in your product. This is the most important side, and I believe Telefonica and Wayra are very open-minded when it comes to new ideas, and they accept and assume new products. I believe that what really matters is the match between your product as a startup and the business and the core business in Telefonica. And of course, Telefonica has a large business, and it's rather easy to find new doors. But the interesting thing is to provide Telefonica with something like a product that is. We're lucky enough to count with the participation of Wayra. Wayra is a very open-minded company, and it's very easy to find the right path. Well, I'm gonna say perhaps I'll say the same with other words. It's all about the value you can bring to Telefonica. Of course, Telefonica is very large as a company, and of course you need to be perhaps differential to prove you can contribute with an added value. With Wayra, it's very easy to interact, of course. Then finding your niche, spotting your opportunity within Telefonica might be a little bit trickier. It requires of time, effort, patience, and sailing skills, so to speak. But we are three examples, three success examples. So it's all about prevailing. Okay, we need to start closing here. I believe from my perspective, at the end of the day, I am the one who helps you navigate through Telefonica. And of course, the value that you can contribute, I mean, the patience is also important. The most important thing, perhaps, is to make sure that, well, we are open. We are open to new solutions. It's our job. That's what really fascinates us, being in the innovation ecosystem. But at the end of the day, well, Telefonica has more than 100 years, and we are open to listen to new ideas, to new products, to improving existing products, to accessorize existing products. And I believe that's the most important element to bear in mind. We are open to new opportunities. Sometimes we are a little bit, I mean, we are large and we are imposing. And Wayra is the way to access Telefonica and to enable you to find the right department to interact with. We have 2 minutes left only. I don't know if there's any question from the audience. Or perhaps from the metaverse. Let's wait for a few secs, just in case. Well, we're going to leave it here then. Thank you very much for your time. And thanks for following us live or through the metaverse. As I told you at the beginning of my presentation, we are Wayra, and our mandate is to bring innovation close to Telefonica, or closer to Telefonica. And, well, we are at your disposal in case you need us. Thank you very much.